ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। The Guru of Kena Upanishad has presented the knowledge of Nirguna Parabrahma in a very indirect way, in a paradoxical language. We saw that in the first chapter. Chakshushaha chakshuhu, shrotrasya shrotram, manasohi manaha, eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of the mind. And in answer to the question raised by the Shishya, then the Upanishad also summarizes in the first two chapters, saying that Yasya amatam tasya matam. Yasya matam saha na veda. Which means this Brahma Tattvam, whoever says he does not know it, really has known Brahma Tattvam. And for whom it is known, then he is likely not to know that. And Upanishad says this Brahma Tattvam is neither known nor unknown, because it is always known. Pratibodha viditam matam. It is the Sat, that is the non-negatable existence principle, and it is Chit, it is the knowing faculty. And it is the truth and essence of every experience. Yeah. And ye dhiraha bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitya amritaha bhavanti. So those vivekis who have discerned this non-negatable knowingness, the avasthatraya sakshi, in all beings, they attain the twofold muktis. Jivan mukti, liberation while being embodied, and videha mukti, that is after the completion of the prarabdha. Now, this is so far the essence of the first two chapters, with which the Shravanam and Mananam stage is over. Yeah. Now, the question may come that who are the seekers or the students who are likely to understand such an Upadesha? First of all, the language is so paradoxical and the topic itself is so very subtle. So we know the Shastra has said that only those students who have a very steady Guru Bhakti and who have Astikya Buddhi. Astikya Buddhi is Asti iti Buddhi. That is, let us assume that there is the astitvam of Brahma. Yeah. And Those who have a prepared Samskrita Manas alone will be able to grasp the teachings at this high level. Yeah. And so the Upanishad understands very well that it takes a lot of punyam to even be curious about the content of the Upanishads. As it is said that Advaita Vedanta Vasana Pumsam Ishvara Anugrahat Eva. It is only by the Anugraha of Ishvara and with a lot of punyam that one can come to an Upanishad class and desire to know about this tattva. So the Upanishad understands that not all of us are at the level of an Uttama Adhikari like Nachiketa and be able to grasp the teachings right away. So out of compassion, the Upanishad steps down, and instead of dwelling on that Nirguna Parabrahma Tattvam, it brings the teachings in an easier manner by introducing Saguna Brahma. See, Maya Sahita Brahma is Ishvara. Then Maya Rahita Brahma is Param Brahma. So we have the story centered on the Devatas, that is about how, Ishvara appears as a Yaksha Avatara. And that story begins in chapter 3 and which glorifies the Brahma Vidya. So that is where, we completed that and started the story in the last session. Even Krishna, if you remember in the Bhagavad Gita, at the beginning of chapter 12, Krishna has said, Ye mam avyaktam aksharam paryupasate kleshaha adhikaraha tesham. Which means, O Arjuna, those who want to connect and relate to me as avyaktam, invisible, as aksharam, as the timeless, spaceless, formless entity, Parabrahma, the kleshaha, difficulty will be adhikatarha. It will be more. Why? Because there is always some degree of deha abhimana. So that body identification is quite deeply entrenched. So we cannot jump to this arupa jnanam of Advaita Vedanta all of a sudden. So we start with Ekarupa Bhakti, then expand to Aneka Rupa Bhakti, and eventually come to Arupa Bhakti. And so now we come to that story part. Yeah, the story part is centered on the Devatas. Now, who is a Devata? A Devata is also a Jiva like us. Yeah, but the difference is the Devata is a shining celestial being who has got a lot of punyam and attained the status. Is a celestial being. And Ishvara has empowered all the Devatas, to perform certain cosmic functions and duties. In the Katha Upanishad, we saw the mantra, Bhaya tapati suryaha, bhaya tapati agnihi, vayuscha indrascha, mrityudhavati panchamaha. That is the sun, the moon, the planets, Yamadevata, Kubera, all of them are performing their functions and they appear to obey the command of Ishvara. So Ishvara blesses the world through the Devatas by empowering them to function in a very unique way. Then at the level of the Vyashti Jiva, that is at our level, Adhyatma level, who is a Devata? The Devata is a law, is a law or a function that connects the Adhyatma, me, the body, mind, senses, with the Adibhautika Jagat. We have seen a whole range of Adhisthana Devatas in Tattvabodha when we studied how Ishvara as Surya blesses my sight. Yeah, that is my eyes to perceive the world. Then Ishvara as Agni is the Vak Devata. Ishvara as Varunaha blesses the faculty of taste. Then Ishvara as Vayu, touch. Ishvara as Dik Devatas, the sense of hearing, and Ishvara as Ashwini Kumaras is the sense of smell. So that is the Jnanendriyani. Then Karmendriyani also, the list goes on. How Yamadevata is empowered to make the, function of elimination, excretion possible in our bodies. Prajapati is in charge of the genital organ functioning. Then Mahavishnu is for walking, Pada, and Indra is for Bahubalam, yeah, and so on. And then even when you see the functions of the mind, we saw how the fourfold functions of the mind in Tattva Bodha again, how the buddhi is governed by the Devata Brahmadev, Hiranyagarbha Brahmadev, and then the Chittam is Vasudeva, and Manas is of course the moon. Yeah, we see the direct correlation between the moon stages, the tithis, and our own minds. Yeah. And Ahankara is governed by the Rudra aspect of Shiva. So this is how, the Devatas are all empowered and blessed by Ishvara to perform certain functions at the Vyashti Jiva level or the Samashti level of the entire Srishti. So now for the story, the story is given so that one can understand the teachings of Brahma Vidya. And we saw in the story how once there was a clash between these Devatas, and Asuras. Now the Devatas are obviously sattvic by nature, yeah, and they will be supported by Ishvara. And so the Devatas in their clash or war with the Asuras won by the grace of Ishvara. And the Asuras also, who are powerful, happen to lose. Then what happens? Instead of having the Prasada Buddhi, yeah, the Devatas should have had the Prasada Buddhi, that by the grace of Ishvara, who has empowered each one of us, we have won the war against the Asuras. But sometimes, as it so happens, the mind gets clouded and there is the Avidya Maya, and the Ahankara comes to the foreground. And so all the Devatas, they claim the credit and the victory to themselves. That is how the story begins. Now in the chapter 3. Now let us see that story unfolded mantra by mantra. The first mantra is Brahma ha devebhyah vijigye. Tasya ha brahmanah vijaye devaha amahiyanta. Brahma ha devebhyah vijigye means it is really Parabrahma who has won the victory for the Devatas. Brahma devebhyah vijigye. Tasya brahmanah vijaye. In that victory, in that victory which really belongs to Parabrahma, Devaha amahiyanta. Amahiyanta means the Devatas, they are honored. Yeah, because they are all visible and tangible wars have happened, and so the Devatas were honored and worshipped. But really the victory belongs to Brahmadev. Yeah, that is the first mantra. Then, second one, we see what happens then. Te aikshanta asmakameva ayam vijayaha. Asmakameva ayam mahima iti. So te aikshanta. So now the Devatas are thinking. Aikshanta is to perceive, but they are thinking. What are they thinking? Oh, really? We fought so hard. It was a tough war. Yeah. Asmakameva vijayaha, asmakameva mahima. So this glory and this victory really belongs to us. That is how they're thinking. Then tat ha esham vijagnyao tebhyah ha pradurbhavuva. Tat, that tat refers to Parabrahma. So Parabrahma as Ishvara. See, the Saguna Brahma, as I told you, is Maya Sahita, Maya Sahita Ishvara. So that Ishvara, Vijagnyam means understood. Yeah, understood what? Understood how their minds work. Now the Ahankara is very prominent. Yeah. So in order to protect the Devatas, protect in the sense that not becoming a victim of the Ahankara, what did Saguna Brahma Ishvara do? Tebhyaha pradurbhabhuva. Pradurbhabhuva means manifested. Yeah. Manifested and appeared before them. Tebhyaha as a yaksha. I told you yaksha is a divine effulgent being and it is an avatara, understood to be an avatara here. And tat na vyajanata. Kim idam yaksham iti. Now, the devatas are very puzzled because suddenly out of nowhere, the celestial luminous being appears in their loka, Svarga loka. Where did this come from? Who has sent this yaksha here? So they are wondering about all this and they cannot figure out anything about the yaksha. Then what happens next? Third mantra. Te agnim abruvan he jataveda etat vijanihi. So we have to imagine that the devatas have a meeting, yeah, and they are doing some brainstorming to analyze the situation, what to do about it. So we know Devendra is the boss there. So they all have a meeting in Svargaloka and they address Agni Devata. How do they address the Agni Devata? Te Agnim Abruvan. Hey Jataveda. Jataveda is another name for Agni. Jataveda actually means the bestower of wealth. And we know that, in fact, yesterday also we saw that name for Agni as Huta Vahaha in Saundarya Lahari. Huta Vaha means the one who Vahati carries all that is Hutam, offered. So Agni is the divine messenger who carries our Sankalpa and our offerings in the Vedic rituals to the respective Devatas and then ensures the Karma Phalam as blessings to the performer, the Yajamana. So that is how Agni is a Jataveda, the bestower of wealth. So then all these devatas, they say, hey Jataveda, etat vijanihi. So why don't you try to go and investigate this matter and find out who the yaksha is, where did the yaksha appear from? Kim idam yaksham iti. They ask Agni Devata. And what is the response of Agni Devata? Tatheti. Yes. Done. It should not be too difficult because it sounds like an easy mission and Agni Devata agrees to go. Now, Agni Devata, is the first of the 5 elements, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jalam, Prithvi, which is visible. So, Agni Devata is the Pratyaksha Devata for us and hence very, very powerful. Now, Agni Devata goes and approaches the Yaksha. That's the mantra number 4. Tat Abhyadravat Agni Devata approaches the Yaksha. But before Agni could ask, who are you? Where did you come from? The Yaksha asks Agni Devata. What does the Yaksha ask? Tam Abhyavadat. Tam Abhyavadat means the Yaksha questions Agni Devata. Kosi, Kaha Asi, who are you? Now, we have to imagine the feelings of Agni Devata. Yeah, Agni Devata, who is the all-pervading Tattvam that can burn anything in the world, which is Pratyaksha Devata, and which is the fire of digestion, and, which is Jataveda, all this. And he's been asked to introduce himself. And so what does Agni Devata say? But Agni Devata, respects the Yaksha because the Yaksha is so divine and effulgent. So he says, Tat abhyadravat tam abhyavadat kosi iti agnihi. Agnihi, why? Indeed, what does Agni Devata say? Aham asmi iti Agnihi. I am Agni Devata. Then what else? Abravi Jata Veda Vai Aham Asmi iti. Then in addition, he says, I am also Jata Veda, who is the bestower of wealth. Don't you know who I am? So we can see that Ahankara in the Agni Devata. Then the story continues to the fifth mantra, where the Yaksha asks Agni Devata, okay, but what is your special expertise? What is your samathyam? What is your skill? What can you do? And that is the fifth mantra. Tasmin stvai kim viryam. What is your strength, viryam, secret of, your power in you? What is it? Then tasmin tvai kim viryam iti api idam sarvam daheyam. Yat idam prithivyam iti. So what is Agni Devata's answer? He says, you're asking what is my power? Kim viryam. So whatever is on earth, yadidam prithivyam iti aham daheyam. I can burn anything in this world. No? I have that burning power. That is the power of Agni. So then the Yaksha now, we know that Yaksha is an avatar of Ishvara, and the Yaksha will now test this Agni Devata. That comes in the sixth mantra. Tasmai trinanidadho etaddaheti. Tasmai nidadho. Yeah. Is it the sixth mantra on your screen? Yeah, okay. Tasmai trina nidadho. So trinam, is a grass. So what does the Yaksha do? The Yaksha places a blade of grass. It could even be just a straw, dry straw. Nidadho. Then etat daha iti. And says, come on, show me your expertise. You just have to burn this one straw, just this grass, and that's enough. You need not burn the whole world as you claim. Then tat upapreyaya sarvajavena. And so Agni Devata is again must feel very humiliated because he's been asked to burn a straw, a grass. But never mind, let me do it. So he blows at the straw, he sits on it, he increases his own body temperature. Whatever he does, sarva javena means with all his might and force, that upapreyaya means approached that straw. Then tata na shashaka dagdhum, but was not able to burn that piece of straw. And so Agni Devata, what can he do? No choice, no, but he has to admit defeat. Saha tataha eva nivavrite. Nivavrite means retreated. He retreats back to, the meeting going on with Indra. And na etat ashakam vijnatum yad etat yaksham iti. And he reports, mission not accomplished. I was not able to, find out. Na etat ashakam vijnatum yad etat yaksham iti. Who that yaksha is and where that yaksha is. Paramarthananda will say, this is like the opening batsman has got out. So now the captain is wondering whom to send next. Yeah. So bowled at 0. Yeah. 1 wicket down. And then, of course, the next person who will be assigned is the Vayu Devata. Yeah. They're all in the same conference room. That is this mantra. Atha Vayu Abruvan. So they all of them address the Vayu Devata and say what? Atha Vayum Abruvan Vayo etat vijanihi kimetat yakshamiti tatheti. Atha Vayum Abruvan. Hey Vayo. Sambodhana. Oh Vayu Devata, etat vijanihi. Why don't you, complete this mission and find out more about the Yaksha? Kimetat yakshamiti. And the Vayu says tatheti. Okay, I should be able to do this. Doesn't sound like a difficult mission at all. and the Vayu also goes. So you can see the pattern. It's a similar pattern, and in the next mantra, the Vayu tat abhyadravat tam abhyavadat kosi iti. Same mantra. So the Vayu approaches the Yaksha, tat abhyadravat. But before the Vayu can open his mouth, the Yaksha questions the same question. Hey, Vayu, Kosi, who are you? Tam abhyavadat Kosi iti. Now it is the Vayu's turn to answer the Yaksha. So what does the Vayu say? Vayuhu vai aham asmi. I am Vayu. I am the reason why you are alive. you know, I am the life sustaining power in everyone. Without me, no breathing is possible. And moreover, I can go to any part of the world. I don't need a transport. I don't need a visa. Nobody can stop me. I can go anywhere. And he continues and says, Aham asmi iti abravit matarishva va aham asmi iti. So first the Vayu says, I am Vayu Devata, and Vayu is more subtle than Agni because it manifested before Agni. It is formless. And when something is formless and subtle, it is more powerful. Yeah. And so the Vayu says, I am Matarishva. Now, Matarishva is another word for Vayu. What does it mean? Matari shvayati iti Matarishva. That is Akashe gachati iti Vayu. So, Matari means Akasha, space. And Shvayati is to move, gachati. So, Matari shvayati is equal to Akashe gachati. So, in other words, Vayu is that Tattvam which can move anywhere in the world without any obstacles. Nothing can stop the Vayu from going anywhere. Na nilayati, also we say, anilaha. Anilaha is another word for Vayu, that which is unstoppable. So that is who I am. This Vayu has now introduced himself to this Yaksha. Yeah. Then again, the same question comes and the Yaksha, is going to ask, okay, now what is your expertise? You introduce yourself. What is your samathyam, your viryam? Tasmin tvaikim viryam iti. The Yaksha asks the Vayu Devata. And then the Vayu answers, iti api idam sarvam adadiya yadidam prithivyam iti. So whatever is there on the earth, in this world, yeah, adadiyam, sarvam adad. I can lift anything. Lift means uproot. So by my force, I can uproot buildings and cars and trees, anything, adadiyam, I can uproot. That is the glory of my strength. That is my viryam. So again, very predictable. We know what the Yaksha is going to do. Yeah. The Yaksha is going to place again the same blade of grass. And tasmai trina nidadhau etat adatsva iti. So the Yaksha places the straw or the grass. Nidadhau is to place. And etat adatsva. Etat adatsva means now you lift it. You claim that is your power, lift it. So again, you have to imagine Vayu Devata is extremely astonished, He's been asked to blow a blade of grass or a straw, but still he obeys. Tat upapreyaya sarvajavena, like Agni Devata, with all the force, the Vayu Devata blows and blows, and then he surrounds the straw and uses all his might. Sarvajavena, same result. Tat na shashaka adatum. He was not able to even budge an inch. The straw remained exactly where it was. It has not changed any color and it is not moved even an inch. Then what does Vayu Devata do? Saha tataha eva nivaprite. Na etat ashakam vijnatum yat etat yaksham iti. So admits defeat. Second batsman out in the match and returns. Nivavrite and admits, that he was also not able to find out who or what this Yaksha is. So now, how many devatas are there? There are many devatas, But now Indra has had enough of delegation. So Indra says that there is something very strange going on. Yeah. Agni has returned, Vayu has returned, no? So now let me go. So the 11th mantra says, Atha Indram Abruvan Magavan Etat Vijanihi. So now all the devatas, they ask Indra, who is Devendra to go. So Atha Indram Abruvan, they all said. And Indra is addressed as what here? Maghavan. Maghavan is another name, Sambodhana here for Indra. Hey Maghavan, Etat Vijanihi. So why don't you try your luck? Now, Indra is, has got more punyam than the other devatas because he has got more sattva and he is the leader. He is a Devendra. So he has got the Vajram and to supervise a Loka, he must have more capability. A leader is always more skillful. So, etat vijanihi kim etat yakshamiti. So, you find out about the yaksha. Then what is Indra's response? Say, tatheti, tatha iti. And the Indra also approached in that direction. Tat abhyadravat. But a very strange thing happened now. And that is Tasmat tirodadhe. Tasmat means from that approaching Indra, the Yaksha disappeared. Tirodadhe. Tirodadhe means just vanished and became invisible. So it appeared as a flash and now it vanished. So Indra is all alone. So the other two, Agni and Vayu, at least they approached and they had a conversation with the Yaksha. But Indra was denied. So this is somewhat like, Indra is considered a Ahankara Murti. Yeah, the I notion Ahankara is very strong. So when the Jiva has a strong I notion, where is Ishvara? Ishvara will not be around. So Ishvara in the form of the Yaksha has left. But Indra, internally, mentally, he learns a lesson. He realizes that there is something wonderful going on. And so he stays there. He stays there and he prays, to Ishvara that, oh Ishvara, please bless me. I'm filled with devotion and guide me what next to do. Then in the last mantra of this chapter 3, which is the 12th mantra, we see that in the place where the Yaksha was, now Devi appears. Yeah. Who is the Devi now? Uma Devi. Uma Devi is Haimavati. And Haimavati is a daughter of Himavan, Himalayas. Or we can say Hema. Hema also means gold. So the golden Devi, that is luminous, shining. And she stands for what? Brahma Vidya. She stands for Brahma Vidya. She is Veda Mata, Shruti Mata. She appears in the very spot. And Indra is continuing to be there, Sthitavan, He is praying and in response to his prayers, now Devi has approached. So that is the last mantra of the 3rd chapter. Let us read it. Satasmin eva akashe, Satasmin eva akashe, Striyam ajagama, Bahu shobhamanam, Umam haimavatim, Tam hovacha, Kimetat yakshamiti. Satasmin eva akashe striyam ajagama bahu shobhamanam umam haimavatim tam hovacha kimetat yakshamiti. So now, Saha, who is Saha now? Indra. So Indra has reached the spot where the Yaksha was. But Yaksha has disappeared. Yeah. Yaksha has disappeared, and now there is in that spot a luminous, effulgent Devi has appeared, Uma Devi, Haimavati, and she is the embodiment of Brahma Vidya. So Taha, Saha Tasmin Eva Akashi, which means Saha Indraha, in that very spot, he remained. So we have to supply the verb, Stitavan. He remained standing there and waiting for the anugraha of Ishvara. Then Striyam. Striyam means the Devi appeared. Then what did Indra do? Ajagama. He approaches the Devi now. And that Devi who is Bahu Shobhamanam, who is simply, luminous, Shobhana is there. She is full of luster and she is Uma. Uma is Haimavati and the daughter of the Himalayas. Tam ha uvacha. And Indra asks Uma Devi, Kim etat yaksham iti. So remember, that is the original question. That is the mission. So the Indra does not ask Uma, who are you? No, he asks Uma, who is that yaksha? We want to know who that celestial being was, because now the yaksha has disappeared. So kim etat yaksham iti? Iti kena Upanishadi tritiya khandaha samaptaha. This is where the third chapter of Kena Upanishad ends. Yeah, with the mantra number 12. So Indra, you see, Indra wants to know about the Yaksha Swarupa. And so he is really in a state of humility. He is humbled by, Agni returned, failed in the mission, then Vayu Devata returned. Then when he went, Yaksha also disappeared. So that all gave a certain humility came over Indra, also because he is more Sattvaguna. And then when he prays and meets the Devi, who's so effulgent, she is the Veda Mata. And now, what is Uma Devi going to do in the next chapter? Number 4, Uma Devi assumes the role of the Guru. Yeah, role of the Guru. And Indra is the Shishya. So the next chapter has got only 9 mantras. And in those 9 mantras, there will be some small samvada going on, Guru Shishya samvada between Uma Devi and Indra. And in which Uma reveals, what does she reveal? The identity, Swarupa of the Yaksha. And that comes in the next chapter. Now, let's see that mantra also. The first mantra of the 4th chapter. Sa brahmeti hovacha brahmanah va etat vijaye mahiyadham iti. Tataha ha eva vidanchakara brahmeti. So sa brahma iti ha uvacha. So when Indra asks Yama to reveal the Swarupa of that Yaksha, she gives us one word answer. Sa uvacha, Brahma iti. That's it, done. This is Brahma. So see, Upanishads is really meant for the Uttama Adhikaris who, who just get these one word answers. Brahma. And what kind of Brahma? Of course, Saguna Brahma, but the Swarupa. The Swarupa of the Yaksha is Nirguna Parabrahma. So here there is an unqualified Brahma word. Sa ha uvacha. She answered Brahma iti. So what you're asking, Indra, is really that Brahma. And then Brahmanaha va etat vijaye. So now coming back to the story, she reminds and says that victory which you're all celebrating, yeah, and you all appropriated the credit, really belongs to that Brahma. Brahmanaha etat vijaye. In the victory of Parabrahma, who has empowered you? What? Mahi yadhvam iti. That means you are all enjoying the Mahima, in Mahima, the praise and the worship and the stuti, in the victory which belongs to that Brahma. And that is the Swarupa of the Yaksha. Okay. Then Tataha ha eva Vidanchakara Brahma eva. So now Indra has fully understood and grasped that indeed, that is the Lord, or that is Ishvara, Saguna Brahma Ishvara, who has empowered all the faculties. The faculties, the Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, to wage a war, the strategies, the thinking power, all the strength. Where is it coming from? That is Brahma. So the victory belongs to really Brahma, and that we have celebrating. That is the word Vidanchakara. Yeah? So now Indra has completely grasped, because Indra has surrendered to Ishvara. Surrendered, and which has brought the Guru in the form of Uma Devi. Now, in the fourth chapter, there are some more Upadeshas, and but Adi Shankaracharya, he points out a few important messages based on the story. Yeah. Now, the story we know is all about glorifying Brahma Vidya. So we saw in the first two chapters how abstract it was, Brahma, which is Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Arasam, Agandham. So if one hears that, oh, Brahma is not available for the senses, cannot be conceptualized by the mind, yeah, it cannot be seen, tasted, heard, or does it exist? A doubt may come whether Brahma Tattvam really exists. So that is why we have the Shunyavadis in the world, who says really Brahma is Shunya, zero. Yeah. But then they don't have the Astikya Buddhi. So what does this story do for us? It proves, to one who cannot grasp the teachings right away, it proves what? The Astitvam of Brahma. That indeed, yes, there is a non-negatable Satyam Brahma, that is the Adhara, Adhisthana for the whole Jagat, and which can manifest in any way. Avatars have come and gone, Rama, Krishna, and Yaksha has come and gone. So which means there is a power, there is a Tattvam, and which empowers all the Devatas, the whole world, to function in a certain way. So Brahma is not Shunya, and it very much exists. It is a very Sat aspect of the universe. So that is what the story shows, that how the Upanishad, had stepped down, and instead of elaborating on the Nirguna Parabrahma, there's a story about how Nirguna Parabrahma appeared as a Saguna Ishvara in the form of a Yaksha. And so that proves that, yes, Parabrahma exists. Astitvam is there. And for us also, we see that when I can relate in a puja, my Rama, my Devi, my Krishna, then I feel more relaxed. Yeah, I feel more relaxed, and there is a bonding with my Ishta Devata, and I feel very anchored and blessed also. So, Sarva Deva Namaskara Keshavam Pratigachati. So, whatever your choice of Devata, any form, any Devata, our culture, gives such a huge range of choices. We superimpose Ganesha on a piece of turmeric, yeah, or Mahavishnu on a Shaligrama stone, fossilized stone, yeah, or the great Mahadeva on the Shivalingam. So this is called the deliberate adhyasa. Deliberate adhyasa means deliberately, not erroneously, very intelligently, an upasaka will superimpose the Nirguna Parabrahma Tattvam on a Saguna symbol, like a Shaligrama or Shivalingam or Om. Om is a sound structure, yeah. And so then that is the approach to slowly, come to the Nirguna Tattva. So that is the first message we get here. That Brahma exists, and it was visibly presented as the Yaksha, and then it vanished. So, that Sat aspect continues. And then the Nama Rupa has gone. So we know from Vedanta that Nama Rupas, they appear and they depart. They manifest and become unmanifest. But what stays? What stays is the one that never came and that can never depart. And that is the easiness. Astitvam. And that is why Shraddha is so important. Asti iti astitya buddhi. Shraddhavan labate jnanam, the Gita. No? The one who has such a Shraddha that yes, Brahma asti, I may not grasp it right away, but I have Shraddha in the words of the Guru, in the words of the Shastra, which are going to reveal that ultimate, Ati Sukshma topic over a period of time. So that is the message we get. Then the second message that we get from the story is that without Ishvara Anugraha, nothing is possible. Yeah. So we see here, one cannot know the Brahma Tattvam without Ishvara Anugraha. We saw how Agni Devata, Vayu Devata, even Indra, they failed in their mission to find out, what, who the Yaksha is. Yeah. So until Indra surrendered and was filled with devotion and wonder, and when Uma Devi appears, only then the Swarupa Jnanam was gained. So the second point here is without Ishvara Anugraha, who blesses one with the Guru. And the Guru Kripa includes the Shastra Kripa. Without that, we cannot gain the knowledge of that ultimate, the Parabrahma Jnanam. That is the second point here, that Brahma Jnanam is not possible without the grace of the Guru and Shastra. Then the third point is mentioned here by Adi Shankaracharya. That is that how Indra also approaches, Indra was full of ahankara. He says, I'm going to get to the bottom of this matter. Who is this Yaksha who has intruded into our Svargaloka? But then when the Yaksha itself disappears, then he feels very humbled and he surrendered, and in devotion he prays. He prays to Ishvara, and Ishvara manifests then as the Uma Devi. Then Uma Devi becomes the Guru, and the Guru Shishya Samvada happens in the last chapter. So this shows that without that humility, without the attitude of surrender and devotion also, one cannot hope to gain this knowledge. The Gita, we have that shloka, no? Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Yeah. So, the Shishya is the one who has an open, trusting, receptive mind. And in such a mind alone, then only the Guru Prapti will be there, when there is a genuine, authentic desire to know, and then the Upadesha can come. So there are some more messages connected with the story, which we will do another time. Now, we will just review the mantras once again and then conclude. So as we read the mantras, you can follow the meaning. The story, very simple. Sanskrit is not too difficult. ब्रह्मदेवेभ्यो विजिज्ञे तस्यः ब्रह्मणो विजये देवा अमहीयन्त ते ऐक्षन्त अस्माकमेवायं विजयः अस्माकमेवायं महिमा इति तद्ध एषां विजज्ञौ तेभ्योः प्रादुर्बभूव तन्न व्यजानत किमिदं यक्षमिति ते अग्निम् अब्रुवन् जातवेद एतद्विजानीहि किमिदं यक्षमिति तथेति तदप्यद्रवत् तमभ्यवदत् कोऽसि इति अग्निः वा अहमस्मीति अब्रवीत् जातवेदा वा अहमस्मीति तस्मिन् त्वयि किं वीर्यम् इत्यपीदं सर्वं दहेयं यदिदं पृथिव्याम् इति तस्मै तृण निदधौ एतद्दहेति तदुपप्रेयाय सर्वजवेन तन्न शशाकदग्धुं सतत एव निववृते नैतदशकं विज्ञातुं यदेतद्यक्षमिति अथ वायुम् अब्रुवन् वायवेतद्विजानीहि किमेतद्यक्षमिति तथेति तदप्यद्रवत् तमप्यद्वदत् कोऽसि इति वायुर्वा अहमस्मीति अब्रवीत् मातरिश्वा वा अहमस्मीति तस्मिन् त्वयि किं वीर्यम् इति अपीदं सर्वम् आददीय यदिदं पृथिव्याम् इति तस्मै तृणनिदधौ एतत् आदत्स्व इति तदुपप्रेयाय सर्वजवेन तन्न शशाकादातुं सतत एव निववृते नैतत् अशकं विज्ञातुं यदेतत् यक्षमिति अथ इन्द्रम् अब्रुवन् मघवन् एतद्विजानीहि किमेतद्यक्षमिति तथेति तदप्यद्रवत् तस्मात् तिरोदधे स तस्मिन् एव आकाशे स्त्रियम् आजगाम बहुशोभमानाम् उमां हैमवतीं तां होवाच किमेतद्यक्षमिति इति केनोपनिषदि तृतीयः खण्डः. Then the first mantra of the last chapter. सा ब्रह्मेति होवाच ब्रह्मणो वा एतत् विजये महीयध्वम् इति ततो ह एव विदाञ्चकार ब्रह्मेति. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.